Here's a little tip that a lot of people know, but some people don't know. I just thought about it now. As you can see, when we put this panel in, well, I put this panel in, and everything looks all nice and even and nicely spaced and things like this. And the same with this over here, everything's nice and even. But how do you do it without making a complete mess of it? And because once you've cut into this plastic, there's no going back. Well, it's quite simple. Tape, masking tape. I can't put my stand up in this car because there's not enough room. But what I'm going to show you basically in the next shot is me putting some tape on, and I'm going to mark out where this switch is going to go, because this switch is for the inverter, and we're thinking about putting it there. I think it'll look quite nice there. But obviously we want it like this, and we want it nice and square. So let me put the camera down and we'll get back onto that. So as you can probably see, I put some tape on, and I've run the tape as close to the edge as I can, you know, trying to be square, but this one's the most sort of important one because it's running square off these ones here. So the distance between there and there is exactly 7 centimeters. So that means we can put a centre line at 3.5. We measure 7 off there, 3.5 off there, 3.5 off there, and we can draw a centre line. The next thing is we're going to put this in the middle of here. We couldn't put it a little bit higher, it doesn't really matter. I haven't quite decided that yet, so this is just the first stage of marking out. So I've actually marked that one at 4.5 because it's 9 from there to there, and being rounded on a corner, it's kind of difficult. So I might just put that box thing, wherever it's gone, it's disappeared now, I might just put that a little bit higher. The actual box that we need to cut, the hole that we need to cut, is 35 millimeters by 50 millimeters. So that's kind of a nice easy figure. So the next thing is I'm going to offer up the box, the little switch. I'm looking around for it desperately. I've put it down somewhere, I can't find it. But what I'm doing is I'm going to offer it up and find out now where it aesthetically looks right. And then we'll half the 35.5 and put 2 marks either side of this mark. So we've got parallel lines this time, this side, and then we can work out quite easily the height that we want to be. Now, here's a little tippet. I've got a plastic ruler, it's a Britpart one, so it's probably inaccurate. And what I do is I cut the rulers down so that the first millimetre mark is right on the end. If you understand, you see this end here, where the 30 is? This bit here? Well, I cut that bit off. I just ground it off completely flat, so that when you want to butt something up right in tight into a corner, you know exactly where it is without having to allow for that little mark there. And these are cheap, so you can cut them up. So next thing is to mark out the box. Don't be afraid when you're marking pieces out to replace the tape if you don't think you've got it right. And this is why we're using tape, because even I got it wrong, because I realised that the radius on this side is different to this side. It's more rounded on this side, so I've had to do this about 2 or 3 times till I sort of get happy with it. What I use, I marked the centre line off the edges of the tape, so I thought it was nice. Marked a centre line down, and then because the switch is 35 millimetres across, 17.5 is a halfway point. So put your compass on, mark it, mark it, mark it, mark it, and then 2 parallel lines down. So now you know that that is the width of your switch. Now, looking at the switch, we haven't got a great deal of room to be inaccurate. You see where the holes are here? There's just not much room. There could have just a couple of millimeters more. So yeah, so what we're going to do is when we cut this, we're going to cut to the inside of the line, and then using a Dremel we're just going to progressively open it out, or even a die grinder, just pull it out progressively. But this is just to get the rough idea where the hole is. So I cut the hole. I cut it a little bit too high on this because I couldn't see what the hell I was doing, because I can't have the light on and the Dremel at the same time, but it's covered it over and there's holes to put the screws in, which is nice. It looks not too bad. You know, in fact it looks pretty good really. It seemed, the problem is, what I was trying to say is, because I did it in the car, if you see here, it looks tight at this corner than it does to this corner. But it's the shadow of the lights on everything. That's the really annoying thing. But it is actually square. But you can't see it. And the problem is, in order to Dremel it, you have to unplug the light, because I haven't got a double socket. So anyway, that's the tool I used. I used a slitting wheel to cut it out. And then I just finished it off with a burr. It's going to be alright. It's going to be good. It looks alright. And so there you go. How to fit a switch. But if you've got opportunity, fit it, you know, take all this lot off, because it is a pain. Alright, I'll talk to you later, bye.